Dear students, through this video, we will learn sum of squares and cross product. Sum of squares and cross product, in that total sum of squares and cross product is denoted as SSCPT, and it is defined as summation I equal to 1 to n yi minus y bar into yi minus y bar transverse. Looking in the same way, regression model sum of squares and cross product can be written in the form of SSCPR, and it is defined as summation yi cap minus y bar into yi cap minus y bar transverse. The error sum of squares and cross product can be denoted as SSCPE. It's equal to summation I equal to 1 to n yi minus y cap into yi minus y cap transverse. The next we will go for the problem. The problem is having relation between sum of squares and cross product of total and regression and error. I will go for the problem. The problem is show that SSCPT is equal to SSCPR plus SSCPE. I want to prove this one. For that I will start with SSCPT. The definition of SSCPT is, that is sum of squares and cross product of total is summation I is equal to 1 to n yi minus y bar into yi minus y bar transverse. Now I am introducing one term in that the first bracket and second bracket, that is I am adding and subtracting yi cap. Yi cap, that should be added and subtracted here, and here also it is added and subtracted. In the next step, I am just grouping the first two term as in one bracket and the second two term as in another bracket, and looking like that in the second term also we are doing. So then we get this equation. And the next step, I want to multiply this thing. So I am multiplying now. This is equal to summation I is equal to 1 to n. The first term is multiplied with the last term. So then you are having yi minus yi cap, yi minus yi cap into yi minus yi cap transverse. That's it. And plus this term is multiplied with this one. So then you are getting, now summation is also taken inside. Therefore summation I is equal to 1 to n. And the second term is multiplied, that is yi cap minus y bar is multiplied with yi cap minus y bar transverse. This term is multiplied with the third term. Then we get plus summation I is equal to 1 to n yi minus yi cap is multiplied with yi cap minus y bar transverse, and plus of one more term is missing here. Next, this term is multiplied with this term. We are getting plus of yi cap minus y bar is multiplied with yi minus yi cap whole transverse. Now you are looking this term. This term is nothing but yi minus yi cap. It is denoted as error, that is actually sum of squares and cross product of the error. Therefore this can be written in the form of SSCPE. And the second term is nothing but the definition of sum of squares and cross product of regression. Therefore it is denoted as SSCPR. And finally the next term should be altered somewhere. So what I am doing, I am writing summation I is equal to 1 to n, and you have one property of the matrix. If x and y are same order, then you can write y transverse can be written in the form of yx transverse. Does nothing matter. Both of them having a same value if x and y are same order. So then we can conclude, so with this property you can write this is looking like x and this is looking like a x, and it must be looking like a y. xy transverse can be written in the form of yx transverse. I want to write that one now, yx transverse. Therefore You may write this as yi cap minus y bar transverse into, transverse doesn't come here, into yi minus yi cap transverse. And the second term is unaltered. We are writing the second term as it is. That is yi cap minus y bar into yi minus yi cap transverse. Looking this one, this two term is unaltered. We are writing as it is, and the third term should be written in the form of summation I is equal to 1 to n. We are getting the same term twice, I think. yi cap minus y bar into yi cap minus y bar, and here also the same thing. So therefore you can write 2 times of yi cap minus y bar into yi minus yi cap transverse. And the next stage, you may write the first term as it is, I am not disturbing. The second term can be written in the form of summation I is equal to 1 to n, 2 times of, I hope 2 can be taken out because it is constant, yi cap minus y bar as it is. But you can write this must be looking like actual minus estimation. Actual minus estimation is an error. You know the value of y minus y bar, y cap is nothing but the error value, it is equal to epsilon. So therefore you can write this one as epsilon I transverse. If you are looking this term is a sum of errors. If it is looking like that, sum of errors, you know the expectation of the error term must be equal to 0. So with the help of this one, then the sum of error must be equal to 0. So therefore you can write the third term as 0. So then we have the result, that is required SSCPT is equal to SSCPR into SSCPE. That is sum of squares and cross product of total is equal to sum of squares and cross product of regression plus sum of squares and cross product of error. Thank you.